The Kansas City Chiefs are a popular football team. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. They are the Kansas City Chiefs. A kid, probably based on the picture, Buck, I would say a 7 or 8-year-old kid, maybe a 9-year-old kid, elementary school age, right? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, something like that. Kid wore a headdress as to pay homage to dress up in a costume for a football game, which is not really that uncommon. And he also painted his face. Half of his face was black. The other half was red. The Kansas City Chiefs' primary team color is red. One of their team colors is black. There's like 4 different official team colors of the Kansas City Chiefs. But he was wearing a headdress, half red, half black. He appeared on the broadcast for a short period of time. And the shot that they showed on the broadcast, you could only see one half of his face. A website called Deadspin, which I believe has long past its age of relevancy. Full disclosure, I worked on this website like 15, 16 years ago when it was still primarily about having fun with sports and had not turned into a crazy left-wing organization. A writer on that website wrote an article going after the kid and demanding that there be consequences for the Kansas City Chiefs and for the kid based on one half of his face being black. The headline said, "The NFL needs to speak out against the Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface native headdress." The NFL needs to speak out about this, 8 or 9-year-old kid that is wearing this costume. Again, only based on one side of the face. I have been somewhat encouraged by how much this writer has been getting ridiculed, Buck. But I think now you agree with me that the world of sports media is even woker than the world of politics. What was your reaction when you saw this story and it circulated through your narrative filters?
Well, I mean, respectfully, I think that, if you couldn't hack it writing about politics, for some people, sports is a little easier to do. That's why when I saw that AI writing Sports Illustrated stories, which now Sports Illustrated says is not true, I mean, yeah, I could sort of watch and write about the, who won in the game or whatever as well, right? I think AI is probably going to take over some of those roles pretty quickly. But when I saw this, I was reminded immediately of, and we don't have this club. Maybe I can get it for later on this hour. But, when Elon Musk said, I think it was on the Babylon Bee podcast, I think he was on it with Seth Dillon, if memory serves, that wokeness is an excuse for people to be cruel but think they're virtuous when they do it. That's really the heart of wokeness. It was I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. That wokeness is just an excuse for people to be cruel. What could be more cruel than to? How old was the kid again?
I don't know that they've identified but like 10? Elementary age. I mean, I'm saying 9, like 10, 2nd right? to something 5th grade, something like that.
So like 8, 9, 10 years old, right? I mean, that's something in that category. Let's say he's roughly 10 years old. To try to really possibly destroy, given the way that the online world works these days, destroy the life of a 10-year-old boy or his future, or in any way make him feel bad or make his parents feel bad over something that is so clearly it's not that it's inoffensive, it's a non-offense. There is no offense possible from this. It is impossible to be offended by this. You have to pretend to be the dumbest person on the planet to believe that this is in any way. Because let's get to it. What is it? They're accusing him of blackface. So they're accusing this child of doing something that is meant to be a mockery of black people. That's insane. That's insane. No one believes that. So that's why the Babylon Bee, you see this? They in response to this, they have journalists condemn Little Leaguer for wearing 12% blackface because of the, when people put the eye black or the grease, the sort of grease paint under their eyes for the. And that's exactly what I was thinking too. Is where is the line here? But I'll tell you this: as crazy as it is, in some left-wing circles, this actually proves your devotion. It's like being the cult member who's willing to do anything, like willing to let the leader of the cult, you don't sleep with your wife anymore. Only the cult leader can sleep with your wife. Like, that's the ultimate devotion, right? If you're a leftist and you're willing to try to slander a 10-year-old kid, we saw this with Covington High School. And remember the Native American thing with the Covington High School kids? CNN was willing to slander. If you're willing to slander children to score political points, you're a psychopath, but it actually works in the left a little bit, Clay. It actually gets people sometimes. I think this case, maybe he's gone too far, but usually it works to their favor.
So, one, you mentioned the eye black and the Babylon Bee satirizing it. I believe we mentioned on this show, and I'm not sure what the resolution ended up being, a kid got suspended from his California school for wearing eye black too much, and they said he was using it and doing blackface. The picture of the kid, sometimes people wear eye black and like turn it into a design, right? That's not uncommon. Excessive amounts of eye black can be a trendy thing for someone to do as part of a football game. Couple of things that I think also stand out here. I hope that this is a moment in time where people will reflect. If you are an adult demanding consequences for a kid in a costume, you are never the good guy. Period. Second part of this, and I hope the internet can come to agreement on that. Second part of this, and you hit on it, can we get back to intent in the world? If you are intending to draw and mock black people by wearing blackface, you can be ridiculed. And you should be, in my opinion. But dressing up in a costume at a football game is not remotely that, right? So what is the intent here? And then ultimately, to me, this brings it home, and I tweeted this out. And I just want all of you to think about this. The same leftists who are going after a kid at a Kansas City Chiefs football game for painting his face half black and half red believe that it is courageous and brave for a man to win a women's championship by pretending that he is a woman. If you are out there right now and you are defending men dressing up as women as courageous and brave, and a kid dressing up as an Indian or a Native American or whatever you want to call him as unacceptable and worthy of censure, you do not deserve to be treated as an adult because your brain is so broken, you are an imbecile. This is where they are, Buck. I think it really drills and distills it home. Man pretending to be woman, heroic. Grown man pretending to be a woman, courageous for him to win a women's sports championship. Little kid goes to a sporting event and dresses up as the mascot of his favorite team. He's racist, and the entire league needs to take action? I mean, think about this. They're demanding that the NFL, track down the 9-year-old and do what to him? Not allow him to go to watch his favorite team play football games anymore?
It's outrageous. But this is, again, the Musk quote. This was in 2021. He said, at its heart, wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue. That is the single best. That's why I remembered it. The single best description of the heart of wokeness I've actually ever heard anyone give. And it's absolutely true. And what could be a more clear example of it than this? The notion that you would want to humiliate a 10-year-old as an adult writing for a website, for it, and think you're the good guy, just shows the insanity to which the lengths of insanity to which people are willing to go. And I think that here there's been a backlash against it, but there's also a part of me that thinks that okay, they went too far this time, but there really is this. There are these rules now that are constantly in flux, and part of this has to also be people just need to calm down. Like the people who are looking for offense all the time, it's not enough to me to say, okay, we didn't violate some rule this time. It's why are you always looking for people to basically hate? Why are you always looking for people who have violated some rule of wokeness, there's something wrong with them. I mean, there's something deeply unhappy. They are the malcontents in our society, and they're never going to stop because it comes from a place of anger, insecurity, and rage, quite honestly. And so they look for people. That's why I always hated that site, Gawker, for example. It's just a trash heap.
Which
really
owned Deadspin.
Did it?
Oh yeah, that's
right.
the Deadspin was the sports arm of Gawker.
These are the places on the internet where they made a business of being openly and outwardly cruel. One of the best things. Speaking of Hulk Hogan and Peter Thiel and the funding of that lawsuit to get rid of Gawker was a service for humanity. Not quite along the lines of Elon buying Twitter. I know a lot of you don't know what Gawker is. You probably don't remember it. You never went to the site. It was the place where character assassination and the destruction of people's lives was like just a constant LOL. It was all for the lulz, the LOLs. And Deadspin clearly has some of that still.
Yeah, I hope this kid sues because he is a private figure who was defamed by a prominent publication. And, you know, we never got the result of what the Covington Catholic lawsuits were. They were all settled.
Yeah.
But when you're a private figure, and this is a quick little side gesture of the law, the standard by which media is required to treat you is quite different than if you are a public figure. And I would argue that a, elementary school kid in the stands at a football game is not a public figure for purposes of adults coming after him.
If anyone is a member of this family or knows who this family is, and I know some people that I think would be very, very interested in helping in this situation, that family try to get a little justice for their son and for themselves. So reach out to our team here. Let us know how we can get in contact.
You don't have kids yet, Buck, but I just get so fired up anytime I see adults going after kids. An elementary school kid goes to a football game to cheer on his favorite team, and you demand that the NFL say something about him painting his face and wearing a headdress? Like, where are we that kids dressing up as Indians is like kids can't even play cowboy and Indian anymore? I mean, is more offensive than men dressing up as women? I can't believe this is where we are.